Hello and welcome. My name is Erik and I'm from the Wasteland Warriors. I'm here to give you this mini tutorial on two techniques that I use in order to make my costume looks old and dirty. We're going to be trying them out on the most iconic post-apocalyptic material there is, namely a bike tire. And we're going to be using some acrylic paint to achieve a look similar to this armor right here behind me.
And for this technique we are going to use some black acrylic paint, some grey acrylic paint. We'll need the tire, of course, which we'll be trying out this technique on, some brushes, some water, and some just ordinary tissue. First up, make sure that your brush is dry. Then after that, we'll make sure to make a darker base coat than just a grey. So take some grey and some black, create a darker base coat. Usually looks better to do this in several layers, going from dark to light or from light to dark. Here I just wipe off the excess on the paper. Don't have to be super tidy, just wipe off most of the paint. Start gently by dragging it across the surface, focusing on the patterns of the wheel, just to make it like that. You see that the gray starts to build up. The harder I press, the more paint is going to be released onto the tire. The less I press, of course, less paint. And this should be used with the layers. First layer you press harder to get more paint onto the tire. The last one should probably be a lighter or a darker color, and just lightly dabbed across the upper edges. So I'm here making sure that all points are touched. It doesn't have to be super even. And now I take some of the pure gray and just take less paint here and make sure to wipe it off much more carefully now with the second layer. And of course, as I said, you can do it in more layers. Test on your hand, still a bit too much color in it, so I wipe off even more. Try it, and as you start out, try very gently, and you'll see that it starts to build up on these upper edges. I think that the paint is dried enough and it's not too much pigment, so I keep on going, but as you see here, I'm using less force and I don't press it down as hard as on the first layer. Don't try to push the color into the shadows, as you actually want this to be on top. I prefer it this way at least, and try and hit most edges. Doesn't have to be super even. Some areas can be lighter and some can be darker, but just try and pick up most of the details, as that actually is going to look better for the next step we're going to do with the washes. Here is the first result of the dry brush. It is too strong for me, it's almost cartoony and not the look I'm looking for. So I take another brush, I'll take some brown acrylic paint. You can use any, I recommend low quality budget acrylic paint. This is a bit more expensive, it's miniature paint. It's from P3, it's an Umbral Umber. I only took it because I had it at hand. But usually I just use cheaper acrylics because it's more economical in the long run. Just mix it up to a milk-like consistency and then start carefully on the tire to test it out and see if it's strong enough or too strong. As in this case, too strong. Take some more water, brush it out. It's going to be a bit spotty, but it doesn't matter. It's a look which is nice as well. Maybe not the one I'm looking for, but first I work it into all the crevices. Then I'll take some more paint, because I think it's a bit too little pigment in it right now, and just drag it across the surface, still making the gray shine through, but the brown is going to be more dominant and it actually tones down the gray. That is it all for the washes. Then just leave it to dry and it's going to look something like this. See that it looks nothing cartoony at all. You get the nice cracks and everything, and simple and easy to do. Just make sure to hit it with some matte varnish and you're good.
And that is it. Those two simple techniques can go a long way, especially if you combine them with what you already know and what Dimitri has already shown on this channel. I also highly recommend that you experiment with them on different materials with different textures and different kind of paints. If you want more post-apocalyptic goodness, check out us, the Wasteland Warriors, on Facebook. And if you found this video useful, like, comment and subscribe, and we'll be back pretty soon with a new mini tutorial. Until then, hail the snail!